Imagine the biggest construction project of our lifetime. It's not about sprawling rail lines, crisscrossing continents.
Right.
Nor is it about like an intricate web of new highways. This one is largely unseen, yet its scale, its sheer ambition.
Well,
It's absolutely staggering.
yeah, we're talking about AI compute, aren't we? It's essentially the digital backbone of the future, the very infrastructure powering this new technological era.
Exactly.
But here's the really wild part, I think. The question that's just sort of begging to be asked. Who is actually footing this, well, mind-boggling bill?
Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take the information you've shared with us and unpack it, seeking those crucial nuggets of knowledge. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating intersection of AI's booming infrastructure and, well, a noticeable shift in the industry's focus. You've given us some truly insightful source material, a fantastic newsletter to explore.
That's right. We're going to journey through the monumental financial investment behind AI, looking at the just incredible sums pouring into data centers. Then we'll pivot a bit to some of the surprisingly clever and practical new AI capabilities that are emerging right now.
Okay.
And finally, we'll unpack why so many are saying we're entering what's being called the post-hype era for AI. Kind of interesting.
Our mission, as always, is to extract the most important insights, give you that valuable shortcut to being truly well-informed, and hopefully spark a few aha moments along the way.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this. Okay, we really have to start with what feels like the $3 trillion question. Who's actually paying for this unprecedented AI building boom?
Right.
Because when you look at the projections, it becomes clear this is probably the single biggest capital project of our lifetime, a truly generational undertaking.
It really is, and the numbers are just, wow, jaw-dropping. Morgan Stanley, for instance, projects were hurtling towards an incredible $2.9 trillion in AI data center spend by 2029.
$2.9 trillion.
Yeah. And to put that into perspective, big tech giants like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta alone, they're set to spend a combined $400 billion on data centers in a single year. Just 2 years from now, by 2026, that is an immense number of servers, an absolute forest of them, humming away.
And here's where it gets really interesting, maybe a little bit concerning too. Our sources indicate that big tech companies, they're projected to cover only about half of that $2.9 trillion bill.
Only half?
Yeah. That leaves a massive, almost incomprehensible $1.5 trillion funding hole.
Good grief.
And these aren't your average server farms.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about projects with names like Meta's Prometheus, xAI's Colossus, or OpenAI's Stargate. Each one reportedly costing over $100 billion.
Each one.
These aren't small-scale ventures. They're like megastructures of digital processing power.
What's absolutely fascinating here is how they're filling that hole. The short answer, straight from the source material, is borrow like crazy.
Oh, these are crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
In 2025 alone, a staggering $60 billion in loans are already funneled into roughly $440 billion worth of these massive projects.
Okay.
And to give a concrete example, Meta's enormous data centers in Ohio and Louisiana collectively raised $29 billion.
$29 billion.
And an astonishing $26 billion of that, the vast majority, was pure debt.
So this isn't just tech companies spending their, deep pockets. This is Wall Street's cash, leveraged to the hilt, pouring into what is essentially a brand new type of global infrastructure.
But this certainly raises some very important questions, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, what are the red flags nobody seems to be talking about in polite company? What are the risks inherent in this model?
Well, this whole situation brings up a critical question.
Okay.
What are the true risks lurking beneath this investment frenzy? Our sources highlight several key ones.
Okay.
We see the risk of overcapacity, right? Where the build-out exceeds actual demand. There's significant obsolescence risk, given how quickly AI tech evolves. That stuff could be outdated fast.
Yeah, really fast.
And then there's exit risk, meaning, the difficulty of unwinding these huge specialized investments if they don't pan out.
When we connect this to the bigger picture, it feels like déjà vu. We've seen this before with past infrastructure bubbles, like the frenzied railroad expansion of the 19th century,
Oh, yeah.
the dot-com boom and bust, or the telecom overbuild of the early 2000s. It's kind of the same old story, just with new GPUs and, well, vastly higher stakes.
So instead of slowing down or, self-funding entirely, these companies are essentially outsourcing the risk.
That's a good way to put it.
They're letting private capital and ultimately debt markets absorb the downside if demand for AI compute doesn't quite match the, gargantuan build-out we're seeing. It's an interesting maneuver.
So what does this all mean for the broader financial system? It's arguably one of the biggest financial system stress tests in decades.
Wow.
It implies that AI's biggest hurdles, its biggest risks, might not be technical breakthroughs or safety concerns at all,
Right.
but rather they could be purely financial and systemic. Pete, whoa. Imagine scaling to 1 billion queries, or maybe, thinking about it now, $1 billion just to build the basic infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's truly mind-boggling how much capital is tied up in something so foundational, yet, so unproven in terms of long-term return.
That's a powerful statement.
Yes.
It truly makes you realize the sheer scale of this undertaking and how the risks are evolving beyond just the tech itself. Okay, so if we're stepping back from these incredible numbers and this new financial model, what's the single biggest takeaway for our listeners from this massive investment strategy?
I'd say the biggest takeaway is that this is a colossal financial gamble, heavily leveraged by Wall Street's cash, making the entire financial system deeply intertwined with AI's future.
Okay, a colossal gamble. Got it.
Yeah.
Let's pivot now from the colossal financial picture to some of the really cool specific developments and capabilities emerging in AI.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because while the infrastructure story is immense, the practical progress is also incredibly rapid.
Absolutely. On the creative front, for example, Google's Megan 4 image generator is now generally available, which is pretty neat for creators, I think.
Time 4, okay.
Yeah, it offers up to 2K resolution, so really high quality, and it has a faster model for quicker outputs. You can generate stunning visuals almost instantly.
And for the gamers among you, there was this viral test on X that showed GPT-5, the latest from OpenAI,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
earning 8 badges in the classic Pokemon Red video game in just 6,000 steps. Now, that might sound like a lot of steps,
Yeah.
but it's almost 70% fewer steps than a model that came out only 6 months ago. That's an impressive jump in efficiency, isn't it?
It really is.
Does that imply we're seeing like fundamental breakthroughs in AI's learning mechanisms,
Yeah.
or just better optimization of existing models? What do you think?
It's likely a bit of both, probably. But it certainly shows how quickly these models are refining their ability to learn complex tasks.
Right.
And speaking of refinement, a crucial point this brings up is how AI is beginning to interact with us in more sophisticated ways. Anthropic, for example.
Claude's makers.
Exactly. They gave their Claude Opus 4 and 4.1 models the ability to actually end a conversation in extreme cases. It can literally say no and walk away.
Huh. That's a big step for AI autonomy.
It is. Also, Claude introduced something called learning mode, which guides users to answers rather than just handing them over directly.
Oh, interesting. How does that work?
Well, it sort of nudges you, helps you figure it out. This isn't just about getting information. It begins to define an AI's character, by providing a window into its reasoning process, a little more transparency into how it thinks.
That's fascinating. We're also seeing new specialized tools emerging, aren't we? Moving beyond just general chatbots into very targeted applications.
Totally. Think of like GPT-5 SEO for deeper brand and competitor insights, maybe. Or Dabe.io, which is a platform designed for building custom AI agents just by describing the tasks you want them to do.
Okay.
And then there's Vidacia for creating jaw-dropping videos, which, okay, bold claim.
Wow.
But the progress in video generation is undeniable. Even in fashion, this style is a new social media app powered by AI suggesting outfits and styles.
So it's all about utility, finding a specific need.
Exactly. And on the financial front, tying back to our first segment, Meta isn't just raising debt for its own data centers.
Right.
They're also reportedly raising up to $29 billion for broader AI projects, including a massive $14.3 billion investment in Scale AI, giving them a 49% stake.
49%. Wow.
Yeah. It's a clear signal of AI's deep integration into financial strategies, not just as an expense, but as a strategic investment target itself.
And we've also got quick hits like 11 Labs Jingle Maker, which can turn any website into a catchy jingle.
Need that.
Perfect for when you need a little earworm for your online presence, I guess. And Nvidia, the chip giant, just launched Grainery.
Greenery.
Yeah, a massive audio data set with over 1 million hours of audio in 25 languages. The sheer variety and specificity of progress is truly impressive.
It really is.
It's not just about one breakthrough. It's like 1,000 small practical innovations happening all at once.
So thinking about all these diverse, specific advancements, what practical impact are these new capabilities actually having on us, the users, right now?
Well, the practical impact is becoming profound. AI is getting more sophisticated and genuinely helpful in countless daily tasks, really, from creative work to strategic analysis. Welcome back. We've explored this staggering financial investment in AI and touched upon some fascinating new capabilities. Now let's talk about a big, perhaps unexpected shift in the broader AI world.
Okay.
After the release of OpenAI's GPT-5, a lot of people are asking, are we, in a way, hitting an AI wall or maybe just a phase of more measured progress?
What's truly compelling here is the community's reaction, I think. GPT-5 was, without a doubt, the most hyped model ever.
Absolutely. The buzz was huge.
Yeah, there were whispers, even expectations of jaw-dropping demos and AGI-level breakthroughs, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. But instead, what people got was something being called, kind of widely, a mid-tier upgrade.
A mid-tier upgrade, huh?
Yeah. It's a bit faster, yes, it's cheaper, and it has better vibes, as some put it, meaning it's maybe more reliable or less prone to weird errors.
Okay, better vibes. I like that.
But even AI insiders were reportedly surprised. They expected something truly groundbreaking, like a major leap, and they didn't quite get that.
So it seems GPT-5 is fine, it's useful, but maybe don't expect magic. At least not the kind of magic some were anticipating.
Pretty much. And this has fundamentally shifted the whole vibe of the AI race, actually.
How so?
Before, the conversation was almost exclusively about building AGI, artificial general intelligence, right? That elusive human-level AI.
The holy grail.
Yeah, that would automate everything and revolutionize society overnight. There's this pervasive narrative that every model is exponentially smarter and will automate everything soon.
Yeah.
Very future-focused, very grandiose.
But now the conversation is really changing.
It is. It's become more grounded. The focus is shifting to let's build useful products.
Practicality.
Exactly. There's a growing consensus that maybe AGI is further off than we thought, which is a significant recalibration. And critically, the understanding that LLMs, large language models like GPT, are infrastructure, not magic.
Infrastructure, not magic. That's a key phrase.
They are powerful tools, for sure, but they have limitations and are part of a larger system.
I certainly resonate with that shift to utility.
Yeah.
I mean, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. You know that thing?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Where you try to get consistent results from an AI, but its responses can subtly vary each time you prompt it, even with the exact same input. Frustrating. So this post-hype focus on making these tools more reliable and consistently useful rather than chasing elusive breakthroughs.
Well, it resonates deeply with my own experience using them.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, even AI regulation has seen a similar shift in tone. Under the Biden administration, much of the discussion and focus was around existential risk and AGI safety. All right, the big what-ifs.
Yeah, ensuring that super intelligent AI wouldn't harm humanity. But our sources highlight that under a potential Trump administration, the mood around AI regulation has reportedly become way more chill.
Way more chill.
Focusing less on those speculative risks and more on economic competitiveness and just getting it deployed. This political shift truly reflects the broader recalibration we're seeing across the industry.
It feels like we're genuinely entering the post-hype era of AI, doesn't it? A phase where even the smartest people in the room are recalibrating their goals, their expectations.
Yeah, I think so.
It's less about the theoretical singularity and more about solving tangible problems. You can almost call it a maturity phase for the technology.
A maturity phase, that sounds right. So for us, the users, the businesses, anyone interacting with this technology, what does this post-hype era truly mean for how we approach AI?
Well, I think this post-hype era means a renewed focus on practical applications, tangible value, and maybe more realistic expectations for AI's current capabilities.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean when we put it all together? We've really seen this staggering debt-fueled financial investment in AI infrastructure, which is building the very foundation of this new technological era. It's an enormous financial gamble, really, one that could reshape global economics.
And simultaneously, we're seeing a really fascinating pivot within the AI community itself, a shift from that grand, sometimes unrealistic hype of achieving AGI towards a more grounded pursuit of practical utility. It's a clear signal that AI's biggest risks might truly be financial and systemic rather than just technical or, existential.
It seems AI isn't slowing down, It's simply evolving its focus.
Right.
Becoming more grounded, more about building genuinely useful tools and solving real-world problems than chasing those distant, often sci-fi inspired dreams. It's an exciting, albeit maybe more pragmatic phase.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of AI's present reality and its evolving future.
And here's a provocative thought for you to mull over. If AI is now firmly established as a foundational infrastructure, much like electricity or the internet, how does that fundamentally change who controls it?
Ooh, good question.
And, maybe more importantly, what new, accessible innovations might that enable for everyone, not just the tech giants? Something to think about.
Keep learning, keep exploring.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.